What's up, people? How's everybody doing? Hopefully having a good time. This is this week's Q&A, and this time I didn't get the question from a supporter or a subscriber, but I found the question on Quora and thought it would be an interesting one to answer, because I am sure there are a lot of people wondering about this and maybe haven't got the right idea, maybe haven't talked about it. I put the question down at the bottom so you can see it in its exact form, but basically what the question is that are people aware of how crazy the left will become if Donald Trump gets elected next week? And what are some tips or advice that I may have, or the answer of the question might have, to those people who are ill-prepared for what is to come, in their opinion? So what do I think about that? Well, I tell you what, a lot of the people on the left are essentially, in my opinion, ideologically captured, which means they're dangerous, right? They are dangerous. Ideologues are dangerous, whether they're the go-to religions or a fringe religion or a cult. It's all ideology, and people that act based on their ideology can be extremely dangerous. We saw what happened with Jim Jones. We've seen what happened with, the witch hunts with Christianity and Catholicism. The inability to, or unwillingness to confront the fact that there are literally thousands of pedophile, child-raping preachers and pastors in the Catholic Church still today, and that nothing has really been done about it, and nothing is going to be done about it, yet people still claim to be part of that club. That shows you how dangerous and mind-numbing an ideology can be. So do I think that a lot of the left will get violent if Trump is elected? I guess it can go two ways. Yes, I think that there is the capability for those people that went insane during the first Trump election, and those people today, I think that there are less of them, but there are still enough of them to cause major damage. And I think they might try to do it. I'm pretty sure they will want to get violent. You know what I'm saying? These are people that have no control over their own emotions. That's clear. And again, that's dangerous. That's why my opinion is ideology shouldn't be running any government or any society. It should only be boss to those that adhere to the ideology, and everybody outside of it, they should have no control over. Otherwise, it becomes very dangerous. And this leftist Trump derangement syndrome, COVID cult, is no different. So we saw what they did in 2020. We've seen what they've done on May 29th at the White House. We've seen what they've done during the BLM riots and the chopses and jazzes and all that shit. And they have gone pretty crazy, you know what I'm saying? But there is a difference between then and now. And this is something that you, I guess, could not rely 100% on, but at least see as a positive point and a positive difference between then and now. At the time that BLM happened, at the time of George Floyd, and at the time of the riots at the White House and all that stuff, and the Antifa leftist violence in general in the last decade, it's been basically allowed to get that far. You see, this time around, I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump, nor the people that he's going to appoint to be in his administration, are going to stand for any type of insane violence from the left at all. And so the blowback on the people committing the crimes and getting violent will be so harsh that it will deter many more of them from doing anything. The only reason they got so bold and they got so violent is because they were basically allowed to do so without any consequences back then. Today's a different story. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump and his administration will not accept crazy political violence from the left. And the first, 100 people or 1,000 people or whatever that get immediately thrown in jail and have to suffer even a weekend in jail, that's going to fold that shit right away, because these people are paper tigers in that sense. You see, they can do political violence, they can get rowdy and crazy when they're in groups and when they're being legally backed up. These people are not prison ready people. And the first inkling that arises that these leftist idiots are going to go to prison or are going to get charged with their crimes this time around, that will make that shit, but that will put a stop to that shit right away. So that's a positive way to look at it, okay? So do you have to even prepare at all, or can you just rely completely on the government to shut it down? Well, you never want to rely on the government completely for anything, right? And if you're in a city, things can get explosive pretty quick. They can get out of hand pretty quick. And they can also overwhelm the police in a sense that they won't be able to react to every problem everywhere on every corner. And so it may take a while. So it would be good to be prepared yourself. Now, before I go on, I want to interject one thing. There have been people that have made this case about the left getting so violent. There are actually people out there that know that they have to vote for Donald Trump to improve their quality of life, to stop these massive wars, everything that Donald Trump stands for that the left doesn't stand for. There's a lot of people out there that know they have to really vote. They can't really vote for Kamala Harris, but they're so afraid of the leftist backlash if they vote for Trump, you know what I'm saying, or if Trump wins, that they would rather just capitulate to the mob and not elect the right person just to avoid the backlash that may come. Well, that attitude is always the wrong one, okay? If there's going to be leftist crazy violence because Trump gets elected, then so be it. Let him do it. You know what I mean? Not in the sense like let him get away with it. Then that's what it's going to be. Just because we don't want the mob to get violent doesn't mean we must bend the knee to their will. That would be stupid. So if Donald Trump is the right choice because he's the right choice for president, he's the right choice and should be elected and should win. There should be no consideration of a small or large group of lunatics that say they're going to go mad or they're going to leave the country or they're going to whatever. You know what I'm saying? That should be ignored completely. That has no bearing or should have no bearing on the decision to put Trump in office whatsoever. Otherwise, you may as well just throw the whole thing away and just bow to the leftist idiots out there. Bow to wokeism and say, you guys take the wheel, take the reins. We're going to let you do whatever you want because we're afraid of the backlash. And see, that's been the reason why these people have been getting away with everything for so long in the past, is because people were afraid of the backlash it would create if they were taken to task. I can tell you this, Donald Trump and his administration are not worried about that, okay? And no matter how much the optics get bad, they are not going to allow a relentless group of blue-haired maniacs to fucking dictate what's going to happen in America. That you can rest assured of. However, that being said, if you live in a city, I would definitely get a weapon, a gun, if you can get one. If you're in a city or a state where that's not going to be a problem, get one. You should already have one. It might be too late now because the background check between now and November 5th. But if you can, get one. If you can get one from a friend, get one. You know what I mean? Have it ready. Also, make sure you have enough gas and food in case at the grocery stores or whatever, everything, if things get rioted and get destroyed, you'll still be able to get out of the city, I assume, but maybe not, you know what I mean? And maybe you'll want to be able to get out. Do I think it's going to be Civil War-like conditions where there's actual, murders of people on the street? I don't think so. I don't think it'll get to that point because I don't think it'll be allowed to get to that point. And yet, you still have to be prepared for something like that happening because of maybe the incompetence of the people, the police in your area. The simple fact is you can't just rely on the government to save you out of every circumstance. And you should do your own homework, you do your own due diligence, and prepare for things yourself as well. So yes, prepare, especially in a big city, prepare for the situation that you will not want to leave your house for a day or two. Have enough food and water and stuff to do and things that, cigarettes and the whole shit. Make sure you have gas in your car in case you do need to bail out and make a trip, don't have time to stop or can't stop, and make sure you have a weapon. As a matter of fact, if you have the means to get out of a big city during the election and maybe vacay somewhere else, Airbnb it somewhere, and watch the election from there with a group of friends, make it a trip, make it a vacation, and see what happens in your city after the winner is deemed to be Donald Trump, and see what happens before going back. That would be the best thing I could tell you. Out in the country, it's going to be a different story. It's long distances to walk. Again, these people are soy people, right? They seem very strong and very intimidating when they're in giant groups with weapons, but they're not about to walk, 20 miles from one house to another in a rural area to try to disrupt a couple of people that will shoot them on sight if they get on their property. But in a big city, it's a bit different story. So the advice I have is big city people, if you can leave during the election and maybe for a couple days after, do it. That'd be the easiest, right? That'd be the easiest, the best way to avoid trouble. Because I know people are like, well, yeah, but I got to be able to defend my property in my house. Yeah, but if you're in a city like New York or something, you can't just shoot people that are tearing the shingles off your roof. You know what I mean? And it's going to get you in a situation that you might rather not be in, even though you may come out of the situation victorious as far as the winner of a battle. But yet you will be dragged through court and maybe your life will be ruined because you were in that situation to begin with. Now, there are people out there that are not going to have a choice. They don't have the means or the money to go on vacation during this time. And so they're going to be in their house and they will protect it and their property and their family if they have to. And that may put them in a precarious situation, but at that point it's live or die, right? So my advice is if you can, get out for at least the first couple days during election and the couple days after, kind of gauge what's going on before you go back. And if you're there to stay, make sure you have enough supplies, food, and something to protect yourself from these crazies. Because as I said, they are weak people individually. Obviously, they're mentally weak, they're physically weak. You know what I mean? But in a group, they can be very damaging and very detrimental. And because they are ideologically captured, they are dangerous, okay? They are dangerous. They're dangerous for the individual. Now, if you've got a whole group of country boys with shotguns and rifles standing out there, then they're much less intimidating. But a lot of places won't have that at their disposal. So that's my advice. I do think there's a high propensity for leftist violence if Trump gets elected. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I think that if it's Trump that gets elected and these people try any shit, it's gonna be put down very quickly. There will be no repeats of last time's mistakes in 2020. I promise that. I can't imagine that's not the guy. I can't promise it because I'm not Trump or his administration, but I just can't imagine that that's going to be the case, that's just going to be let go easy. And like I said, once the first few of them hit the jail cells, it'll be done because people are pussies at heart. So that's my answer to that question. Right, guys, if you guys want to get these Q&As, my Insanity Report, which comes out every day, any of the articles I write, the rant, or the What is My Representative Voting On episodes, any of those things, all that content goes directly to your inbox, your email inbox, if you subscribe to my Substack either for free or for $5 a month. If you want to support me monetarily, that's great. I would really appreciate it. And if you're watching this on a different platform like Rumble or X or YouTube, then go ahead and follow me there. But please do, in the end, come to it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com. That's it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com. and subscribe there, because that's the easiest way for me to reach you, and it's the easiest way for you to get all my content centralized in your email inbox as soon as it's published. Guys, it's been great. Have a good day, and we'll see you next week on the next Q&A.